Tristan Thompson gets advice from Kim Kardashian on his relationship with Khloe and their future together. Hey guys, welcome back to another shared news from home. We have got to talk about this Tristan and Kim convo, but before we get into it, if you're new here, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. As always, I'm your host Fiona Zaring, and I'm joined by the wonderful Gabby Ganta. Gabby, this relationship has been a roller coaster, and fans have, of course, been along for the ride for quite some time now. And we kind of got a major development in this new teaser for the upcoming final season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. In it, Tristan asks Kim for advice on the current challenges their relationship is facing. I think it goes without saying that nobody out there who follows the Kardashians has forgotten Tristan's history with cheating, especially the Jordyn Woods scandal that rocked all of our worlds. But as a couple, he and Khloe have, of course, been able to move on. Fans obviously just want Khloe happy. I know when all of this happened, my heart just broke. I was angry on her behalf. We all feel like we know them on some level, which makes, anything like this so difficult. What are your thoughts on the current struggles they may be facing, just knowing that all of the history is constantly in the back of fans' minds?
I think it would be so hard to deal with. I honestly can't imagine being in the spotlight as much as that family is. I know they've grown up with it, they're used to it, they wanted it, but at the same time, it's just their family that's always under the microscope, and it's really tough when you bring kids into the equation and things like that. So I think the Tristan and Khloe drama specifically has been a topic of conversation for a lot of the last few years, and watching their relationship unfold. I think during quarantine specifically, it's been interesting to see, and even in this previous season, how they worked out together, how they, came together for their daughter. So it's tough, but I'm interested to see what Kim has to say, advice wise for Tristan here.
Right. I mean, listen, with Khloe's life being so in the public eye, they have the pressure of public opinion to deal with, not only on their relationship, but in everything. And it's definitely, taking a toll behind the scenes. In the teaser, Tristan opens up to Kim about what they're going through. He basically explains that some days are good, some days are great, nothing's going on, you don't pay attention to it. And other days it totally gets to Khloe. And Kim says, quote, I think it's just mostly what other people are going to think. I think she's totally fine. Otherwise, she wouldn't be hanging out with you 24/7. And she goes on to kind of talk about how it's hard to see Khloe acting this way for her. We all think of Khloe as being so tough and so strong. So it's just disappointing that this is part of her life now. I think it totally makes sense, looking at it from an outside perspective, that fans might not totally be on board with this relationship, because I'm thinking about it as like so many people view them as, their friends, right? So if somebody cheats on your friend or hurts your friend, it's hard for you to bounce back and trust that person. And I think a lot of people kind of apply that logic to their situation, but it's understandably a source of pressure.
Exactly. I think it's interesting that Kim was saying that Khloe is enjoying hanging out with Tristan. They're getting back on good terms now, but it's just what other people think that's bothering her. So I don't know. I would think after being in the spotlight for so many years, it seems like Kim has done this pretty well, but it's just like, get over it. Like, I know reading comments or seeing headlines with your name in it must be so crazy, but you just really can't let what other people think get to you. And so if that is really coming in the middle of this relationship, then that's kind of the first step she needs to take if that's definitely still bothering her. I'm sure, this was filmed a few months ago whenever this was happening, but now we're finally getting to see how their relationship unfolded in this season. So I know Khloe is one of the strong ones. Kim is obviously really smart too and has great advice. So I'm interested to see how Khloe is going to respond to maybe what Tristan has to say, or how they're going to work things out throughout this season.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. Obviously, this conversation with Kim is probably leading to, a conversation with Khloe. So it will definitely be interesting to see how their relationship develops as this season airs. Current day today, just this clip of obviously something that was filmed in the past coming out. prompted Khloe to engage with a fan on social media who brought up the Tristan Jordyn Woods scandal. And, Khloe will engage with people from time to time, but this definitely caught my eye because her response was pretty aggressive. So somebody had shared the clip on Instagram and a fan commented, "So is Kylie allowed to be friends with Jordyn again?" And this prompted a very lengthy response from Khloe. She basically explained that she is exhausted with the narrative that she controls any of her sisters. She said, quote, "Never once have I ever, and I mean ever, told my sister who she can be friends with. She is an adult who can do whatever she wants to do." She went on to say she will support her in anything and everything, and that she, of course, loves her unconditionally. She also added, "By the way, I have no ill feelings towards anyone. Truly, my heart carries no hatred at all. Unless you actually know what you're talking about, respectfully, shut up." So this is clearly a situation that fans, like we were talking about before, have not fully moved on from. And I think that this comment combined with like this conversation that we're seeing in this trailer is a really clear sort of a picture of how Khloe feels about it and how over it she is, which I totally understand.
Definitely, me too. I think everyone was so wrapped up in the fact that Kylie and Jordyn were best friends, and not only did she hurt Khloe and Tristan's relationship, Kylie wasn't friends with her for a period of time, so now that's like the B story in all of this, and so Khloe's just trying to get rid of that and not have that be the topic of conversation anymore, and bring it back to just where they're at with their relationship. They're working on it. They obviously have a daughter. There's things that they need to do. And it's so true that she doesn't control her sisters. They can do whatever they want. And I think Kylie, being her sister, is going to stand up for her and, pick and choose who she's friends with wisely because of things that have happened in the past. So I definitely think that was a comment that could have upset her in the grand scheme of all of this.
Yeah, totally. I mean, listen, every relationship milestone, assuming they're happy, they're moving forward, they're a family, every time something happens, can't imagine how exhausting it must be to go back and if someone say, "Oh, well, remember when this happened?" at every stage of them trying to move forward. So it's definitely a complicated situation. Let's take a look at how Tristan sort of explains his outlook on all of this pressure to Kim from that teaser.
You just gotta just live for yourself and he don't give a damn if you like him or not. But guess what? He's happy and he's gonna do it his way, and it's either you gonna like him or not. If you die, you're gonna die doing it your way. You know what I'm saying? So that's like my mentality, and she's gotta understand it too.
So pretty interesting. He's obviously choosing to, like he said, follow in Kanye's footsteps and live his life, and not care about what people out there think, which is easier said than done. But it's an interesting take. What are your thoughts on that, Gabby?
I'm right there behind him. I think Kanye could be a example figure of that family. That's would be someone that Tristan would look up to because of his relationship with Kim and how long that has lasted. Of course, we know in recent weeks they're, on the rocks a little bit. And I think you could tell on Kim's face when he was talking about him. So depending on when this happened in the last year, maybe that was a bit of foreshadowing. But otherwise, I think they've built a strong family, and that's something that Tristan could definitely look up to.
And Kim is, of course, someone who I think gives great advice to her family, and this is definitely an example of that. Let's look at what she advised him to do.
Honestly, I just think that you should talk to her. That you should just tell her, you don't want to rush her process, but if you were to just, explain to her that you don't want to be this, kept secret because she is so embarrassed.
So what stands out to me in that clip is obviously, clearly, while this is being filmed, they know eventually it's going to get out, but it seems as though, based on what she said, this is during a phase where Khloe was not ready to share Tristan with the world yet. She knew eventually she would be because it's happening on camera, but it seems like this is maybe during that period of time where people were just curious based on social media clips and source rumors, are they together? Are they not together? Where do things stand? But I think that's great advice. He definitely needs to have a conversation with Khloe.
Absolutely. Communication is key in any relationship, no matter what. I think Kim is a great person to be giving him advice on this because she's really close to Khloe. She's seen her go through all of the emotions from, the infidelity to the cheating and the breakup and the back together. And however this roller coaster has gone, she's been there with her sister, and I'm sure she knows a little bit about her side of it. And then obviously Tristan is coming to her and giving his emotions and his thoughts behind it a little bit more too. So I feel like Kim always plays like the mom or the matchmaker in these situations between her sisters, and I'm sure she doesn't mind taking on that role. But yeah, I hope that he takes her advice and they just have a conversation. I'm sure that will be later in the season, but I'm gonna have to look forward to that.
Absolutely. In another teaser for this season, Tristan and Khloe talk about potentially having another baby together. She explains to him in the clip that she's never imagined having an only child, especially quarantining. It's made her sad that True doesn't have any siblings, people to play with. She's had to spend a lot of time alone. She says, True's getting older, and I just feel like now is the time to have another kid, which is very direct, of course, and Tristan responds not only on board, but totally excited. So to me, it's like clearly they're planning ahead as a family. As long as they're happy, I really hope that by the end of this season, or at least by the time we catch up to current day, they're happily ever after, because I think that's really all we want for Khloe.
It really is. I think True is so adorable, and she deserves another brother or sister. It's always tough being an only child, and I really think it's also tough when you are having relationship problems, but there is a child involved, because then it comes down to the line where Chloe's saying, "I want another kid just because I've always wanted it," but then bringing maybe another dad into the picture would make things even more complicated. So then you kind of have to work things out with True's dad, who is Tristan. So I really hope that they do work things out and they can just start growing their family even bigger and stronger now.
Absolutely. All right, you guys, we want to know your thoughts on all of this and what you're looking forward to seeing in the final season of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Let us know down in the comments. And if you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell so you don't miss out on any future updates. As always, I'm your host, Fiona Zaring. I was joined by the wonderful Gabby Ganta. If you want to come say hi, our social handles are on the screen right now. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.